When the story claimed Takaba's power rivals SATORU freaking Gojo, they were lying. Takaba can do the impossible, just like the strongest. And his reality-breaking power made the experience of a 1,000-year-old mastermind useless, where Kenjaku is admitting he can lose.
Embarrassing.
But that's not all. The stage for the return of Gojo is also set. Like, literally, as Gege foreshadows the finale of Takaba's ultimate joke in front of a large crowd, linking it back to chapter 77 when Gojo was on stage with Geto. Guess what that chapter was called? Premature Death. And since we know Takaba can change reality and the imagination of his opponents, Kenjaku is using Geto's memories with Gojo to fulfill Takaba's dream. All we need now is for Takaba to say something like, "It would be so hilarious if Gojo appears in one piece despite being cut in half," or a physical gag like this one that Yuji did, which would be the catalyst for a chain reaction causing his return. However, that's only the beginning, as the strongest curse technique in the entirety of Jujutsu Kaisen is a joke. Takaba and Kenjaku pull out a bunch of cosplays, especially this saucy nurse one, play rock, paper and scissors, a game show, and much more. However, Kenny summons one of his special grade curses, but Takaba counters with one of the most powerful beings in all of fiction, Truck-kun. As explained by Kenjaku in chapter 203, a special grade sorcerer is someone capable of wiping out a nation with one hand behind their back. But since he's admitting he could lose, doesn't that make Takaba a special grade comedian? As one-shotting a special grade curse with zero effort already proves his strength. Even Meme struggled with one in the Shibuya incident and needed the help of her brother. Takaba is the only person in the story to have a curse technique that actively messes with the surroundings, just like a domain expansion would. To make things even more broken, the materialization of imagination isn't limited to his own thoughts. Kenjaku realized it could also impact the opponent's mind. In fact, he even states that this technique is soul resonance, which means the soul of the opponent is being affected by the external force of comedian. This is similar to Sukuna having to put Megami in complete despair for his soul to be crushed. However, in Takaba's case, the emotion is that of laughter. Now, whilst chapter 242 is hilarious, let's be honest, we were laughing our asses off reading it, it tells us that curse energy has the ability to affect reality. Takaba can bring out Kenjaku's own thoughts, which is why after the truck crashes into the curse, he appears as a policeman checking if he's sober. This triggers countless scenarios that Takaba would find funny, and Gege uses them to reference all types of media. For example, Final Fantasy X's sequel being absolute trash, to Team Rocket being blasted off again, and even Yu Yu Hakusho's final chapter with them having fun in the fantasy. You get it? It's a pun. Is this reality or a fantasy? Yeah, that's Takaba's comedy for you. However, the most important one of all is the game of questionnaires, where Gojo's new power is revealed. Lime green is real.
What did he say?
Alright, look guys, I'm just a messenger. If Gege is trolling or not is up to you, as I'm just gonna present what the community believes. Essentially, the game show host asks a question about particles and nuclear physics, and Kenjaku replies that the group of subatomic particles that create a strong reaction is called hadron. This question seems random as hell, but funnily enough, hadrons are actually made of quarks which have three colors: red, blue and green. Gojo already has red and blue, which combine to form purple, but when he's resurrected with true enlightenment after killing his ego, he'll have an even deeper knowledge of curse energy and awaken green. Especially when we look at Gege's own comments regarding Gojo stating he's the honored one, it was in regard to his arrogance, therefore he has to kill his ego. Now, when all three lights mix, you get white. and that will be Gojo's new power. Okay, this sounds a bit stupid, but the Japanese fans of this community also back this up with the idea of Gojo being just like Buddha. In chapter 230, Sukuna calls Gojo a Bonpu, a Buddhist term meaning someone who is not enlightened, the opposite of honored one. But the colors of hollow techniques are related to the Dhyani Buddhas, which states the 4 colors of blue, red, green, and yellow, because the parallels between Buddha's journey in 4 directions and the events in Gojo's life are very similar. For example, when Buddha went east, he aided a child, mirroring Gojo helping Itadori. In the west, he healed a sick individual, paralleling Gojo helping Yuta, who was also a sick child. Southward, Buddha encountered the dead, just like Gojo has after chapter 236. And the only direction left is north, which is when Buddha was re-enlightened, just like Gojo if he goes north to remake himself. Now, obviously, those with the notification bell on know where I'm going with this, so make sure to hit the bell, as all of this connects together and the Japanese fandom seems to agree with us. In fact, just like Gojo, the theme of loneliness continues with Takaba. However, instead of seeking to find love by fighting the world's strongest, Takaba realized that making people laugh is what gives him a sense of belonging and fulfilled the loneliness in his heart. All he wanted was for people to know him, but sadly, much like Gojo, who lost his best friend in Geto due to their difference of the pursuit of Jujutsu and life, Takaba lost his buddy because he stopped taking comedy seriously, which meant losing a partner to do manzai with.
What do you mean by that?
Well, manzai is a traditional style of comedy in Japan that involves 2 performers, a straight man and a funny man, who trade jokes at great speed. The entire fight with Kenjaku makes it clear that Takaba only knows how to be the funny man or the boke, and he needs a partner to fulfill his life's dream. Since purpose is an important aspect that determines the strength of a sorcerer, Takaba stems from his relentless drive for success as a comedian. Even his character design is actually inspired by Centerman. And just for that Easter egg, can you please smash the like button on this video to show your support for Takaba? All the story pieces tie together, bringing the importance of friendship and love, which comes full circle back to Yuji's curse that was left from his grandpa, to die surrounded by those who love him and vice versa. But Takaba's dream started to be fulfilled as Kenjaku realizes, if this keeps up, I'll lose. So the only way this insane back and forth would end is if he agrees to do manzai with him. He even states that these events are simulations, but all the damage dealt to him will accumulate over time, whilst Takaba takes no damage from anything. The comedian technique has the potential to do serious harm to someone even as strong as Sukuna, as his cleave and dismantle would not affect Takaba, whilst his comedian technique is active. Therefore, just like with Gojo and Mahoraga, Sukuna would have to find a new model of his technique to defeat someone as measly as Takaba. That's how overpowered he is. It's huge coming from Kenjaku because this guy tanked an entire black hole and called it a warm-up, whilst Takaba has officially lasted longer than Yuki, who was a special grade. However, the problem is, Takaba limits himself. He could destroy Kenjaku by stating something like, wouldn't it be funny if you died by disease? But his entire goal here is to make Kenjaku laugh instead of killing him. Moreover, Takaba also believes that red, which refers to killing, is taboo. On the other hand, Kenjaku thinks about how fun this is and how many hundreds of years have passed since he had this much excitement. He even feels glad that he started the culling games. Takaba single-handedly became the perfect opponent for him, which even Angel had pointed out in chapter 240. Kenjaku at heart is also a comedian and lives to be entertained. Everything he is doing is exactly just for that. He wants to see something new, and smile at the surprise of the outcome, hence why he was disappointed with the death painting wombs as they were too normal. This is also the very reason to merge Tengen with humanity, where Kenjaku is keen to see what will come out of it. He states, "Wouldn't it be funny if, after killing hundreds of millions of people, that he came out to be a clown face? I know I'd laugh."
He's pure evil.
So Takaba, in a way, portrays this funny clown Kenjaku has envisioned. None of his overpowered techniques work against him, nor is their fight a conventional one. Nothing is predictable, where this is exactly what Kenjaku desires: complete chaos. In fact, Kenjaku in chapter 136 states, "What I can create does not exceed the bounds of my own potential." And that's what the merger will achieve. But Kenjaku giving Takaba exactly that will only fuel his fire even more to ensure his plan is completed with the excitement he feels. So with Takaba's dream being completed, obviously he is going to lose the fight. However, Takaba has already won, because even if he loses the fight, that would mean his lifelong desire to have a successful manzai with a partner is fulfilled. So it's a win-win for him. Now, to enjoy more peak fiction, why not find out how Sasuke became Otsutsuki and gained a new Rinnegan and arm going against Boruto?